Complete original YouTube script, 3,500 words. Your bank account is about to get watched in a whole new way, and if you're not ready, you could see your money frozen without warning. A wave of updates is rolling out right now that changes how your deposits and payments get monitored. If you rely on automatic bills or getting paid on time, you need to hear this. Right after this, make sure you lock in your spot here by subscribing. This isn't about hype or panic. It's about giving you the tools to stay one step ahead while everyone else scrambles to catch up. The people who protect their money are the ones who see what's coming before it arrives. That's you, starting today. Let me walk you through what's actually happening. Your bank has always kept an eye on the money leaving your account, watching for strange purchases or bills that don't match your usual pattern. That's been the standard for years. But now the system is expanding. Both sides of your account are being tracked. That means every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out is under review by automated systems designed to spot anything that looks off. Why does this matter to you? Because the goal is protection, but the side effect is interruption. Let's say your employer sends you a surprise bonus on a random Tuesday. Your account has never seen that before. The system flags it. Or maybe you sign up for a new subscription service, and the charge doesn't match your history. The system pauses it. These aren't glitches. This is the new normal, and it's designed to catch fraud before it drains your account. But it also means you might face delays on legitimate money if the system can't confirm it fast enough. Here's where it gets tricky. Most people assume their bank will always let their money through without questions. That assumption is outdated. The monitoring technology now treats every transaction like a puzzle piece. If something doesn't fit the usual picture, it gets held for review. And while that review happens, your money sits in limbo. You're not losing it, but you're not using it either. That's the part nobody explains until it happens to you. Think about your regular bills. Mortgage, insurance, utilities, subscriptions. All of those are automatic and they pull from your account on schedule. Now imagine one of those companies changes their payment processor, or they update their billing name. To the monitoring system, that looks like a brand new merchant. It doesn't recognize the charge, so it stops the payment until someone confirms it's real. Meanwhile, you get a late fee notice because the bill didn't go through on time. This isn't a distant possibility. It's already starting to happen as these updates take effect. Now let's talk about how your statements are about to get easier to read. You know those confusing codes that show up when you check your transactions? Strings of letters and numbers that tell you nothing about what you actually paid for? That's changing. Every payment is now required to carry a clear label. If it's your paycheck, it says payroll. If it's a purchase, it says purchase. If it's a bill, it's labeled as a bill. This sounds simple, but it's a big shift. Why does this help you? 2 reasons. First, you can finally track your spending without playing detective. One glance at your account and you know exactly where your money went. Second, and this is the critical part, fraud becomes obvious. If you see a purchase label from a store you've never visited, you know instantly something's wrong. You're not sitting there wondering if maybe you forgot about some random charge from 3 weeks ago. The clarity protects you because it removes the guessing. But here's a detail most people will miss. This labeling only works if you actually check your account. A lot of folks set up autopay and then forget about it. They assume everything is fine until something goes very wrong. That approach doesn't work anymore. You need to be looking at your account regularly, not just once a month when a problem forces you to. The system is giving you better tools, but you have to use them. Let's shift to something that could save you real money if you act fast. When you spot a charge you didn't authorize, the old process made you wait. You'd see it sitting there in pending status, draining your balance, and the bank would tell you they couldn't stop it until it fully posted. Then you'd file a claim, wait for an investigation, and hope you got your money back. That waiting period could take days or even weeks, and during that time, you're short on cash. The new system flips this. Banks can now file a fraud claim on a pending transaction before it completes. That means if you catch something early and report it immediately, the payment can be stopped before the money ever leaves. You're not chasing a refund. You're blocking the theft in real time. This is huge for anyone living paycheck to paycheck, because even a few days without access to a couple $100s can create a cascade of missed bills and overdraft fees. Here's what you need to do. Check your account every single day. Not once a week, not when you remember. Every day, look at your pending transactions. If you see something you don't recognize, call your bank right away. Don't wait to see if it posts. Don't assume it's a mistake that will fix itself. Report it the second you spot it. The faster you move, the better your chances of stopping it cold. Now let me tell you about a type of scam that's exploding right now, and the new rules are finally giving victims a chance to fight back. These are called social engineering scams, and they work by tricking you into sending money yourself. Nobody hacks your account. Nobody steals your card. Instead, they lie to you and manipulate you into authorizing the payment. Here's how it plays out. You get a call from someone claiming to be from a government agency. They tell you there's a problem with your taxes, or your Social Security benefits, or your Medicare. They sound official. They know some of your personal details. They create panic by saying you'll be arrested, or your benefits will be cut off, or your bank account will be frozen if you don't pay immediately. They pressure you to act before you have time to think. And because you're scared and confused, you send the money. The cruel part is that, under the old rules, banks couldn't help you much. You authorized the payment, even though you were lied to. The scammer's story was fake, but the transaction was real. So the money was just gone. The new system creates a legal category for payments made under false pretenses. If you were tricked into sending money based on lies, your bank now has more responsibility to try to recover it. They have to take your case seriously. They have to work with other banks to track the money and reverse the transaction if possible. Does this guarantee you'll get your money back? No. Fraud recovery is complicated, and sometimes the money disappears too fast. But it's a step forward. It's recognition that falling for one of these scams doesn't make you careless. It makes you a victim of a crime, and you deserve protection. Here's how you protect yourself. Never give out personal information to someone who calls you, even if they sound legitimate, even if they claim it's urgent. Hang up and call the official number for that agency yourself. Don't trust caller ID because scammers can fake it. Don't click links in unexpected emails. Don't give remote access to your computer. And never ever share verification codes that come to your phone. Those codes are designed to protect you, not to be handed to strangers. Let's talk about government payments, because this affects millions of people. Social Security, veterans benefits, tax refunds. All of these are moving away from paper checks. If you're still waiting for a check in the mail every month, that option is disappearing. You're going to be required to switch to direct deposit or use a prepaid card that the government loads for you. Why the change? Mail theft. Criminals are stealing checks right out of mailboxes, erasing the ink, rewriting them to themselves, and cashing them for thousands of dollars. Moving everything to electronic payments cuts that risk. But for a lot of people, especially older folks who aren't comfortable with online banking, this transition feels overwhelming. If this is you, here's what you need to know. You're going to need a bank account to receive direct deposits, or you'll be given a prepaid debit card. Either way, you have to start checking your account regularly. The checks in the mailbox approach, where you just wait for it to arrive, doesn't work anymore. You need to log in, or call your bank, or use an app to verify that your payment came through on time. And you need to watch for unauthorized charges, because now that your money is digital, it's a target. Here's a common mistake people make, and I want you to avoid it. They assume that because the payment is automatic, they don't need to pay attention. They think the bank will handle everything. That's not true. The bank will monitor for fraud, but they can't catch everything. You're the first line of defense. If something's wrong, you're the one who needs to spot it and report it. The system is safer than paper checks, but only if you stay involved. Let me tell you about instant payments, because this is changing the speed of everything. There's a system rolling out that lets money move between banks in seconds, any time of day, any day of the year. No more waiting until Monday because you sent money on a Friday night. No more delays over holidays. The money arrives instantly. This sounds amazing, and in a lot of ways it is. You can get paid faster. You can help family members in emergencies. Businesses can manage cash flow better. But speed cuts both ways. If a scammer gets into your account, they can drain it in minutes instead of days. You have less time to catch it. Your bank has less time to stop it. The window for action shrinks dramatically. That's why all these new monitoring and fraud detection systems are being built. The payment system is faster, so the security has to be faster too. For you, this means protecting your account information is more critical than ever. Use strong passwords. Enable two-factor authentication. Be skeptical of anyone asking you to share account details. And check your balance often, because by the time you notice a problem, it might already be too late to fix it. Now let's talk about a fee that hits people when they're already struggling. Overdraft fees. This is when you try to make a purchase or pay a bill, but you don't have enough money in your account. The bank can either decline the transaction, which is embarrassing but costs you nothing, or they can approve it anyway and charge you a fee for covering the difference. That fee is usually around $35 per transaction. These fees add up fast. If you're living paycheck to paycheck and you miscalculate your balance by even a few dollars, you can end up owing the bank over $100 in fees by the end of the week. There was supposed to be a rule capping these fees at $5 for large banks, which would have saved people billions every year. But that rule got blocked before it took effect. Some states are stepping in on their own. California capped overdraft fees at $14 for certain credit unions, though that doesn't apply to the big national banks. So, depending on where you live and who you bank with, you might see some relief, or you might still be stuck with the same expensive fees. Here's what you can do. Call your bank and ask about their overdraft policy. Then consider opting out of overdraft protection completely. That means if you don't have enough money, your transaction just gets declined. No fee. It's awkward in the moment, but it's better than owing the bank $35 for a $5 coffee. Let me tell you about something called open banking, because it's going to give you more control over your financial data. Right now, if you want to switch banks, it's a huge hassle. You have to update all your automatic payments, change your direct deposit, transfer everything over. The pain of doing that keeps a lot of people stuck with a bank they're not happy with. The new rules require banks to make it easier for you to move your data. If you want to switch to a different bank, or if you want to use a budgeting app that connects to your accounts, your bank has to help make that process smooth and secure. The idea is that you own your financial data, and you should be able to take it with you. The largest banks have to comply starting in April. Smaller banks have until the end of the decade. This is a big deal because it creates real competition. If your bank isn't treating you well, you can leave without as much friction. That forces banks to actually compete for your business by offering better rates, better service, and fewer fees. Privacy protections are built in. The rules prevent third-party companies from using your data for things you didn't agree to. And they're trying to eliminate a risky practice where you give your bank password to another app so it can log in and grab your information. That creates huge security holes. The new system is designed to share data safely without exposing your login credentials. Here's something you might have noticed. Interest rates on savings accounts are dropping. If you opened a high-yield savings account a couple years ago when rates were over 5%, you've probably seen that number fall to 4% or lower. This is happening because the central bank is lowering its benchmark rate, and that trickles down to what you earn on your savings. 4% is still decent by historical standards, but it's worth keeping an eye on. You might want to lock in a rate by putting some money into a certificate of deposit, where you agree not to touch it for a certain period in exchange for a guaranteed return. Or you might look at other investment options, though those come with more risk. On the flip side, if you have loans with variable rates, like credit cards or adjustable mortgages, you might see those rates come down a bit too. Probably not enough to make a huge difference in your monthly payment, but every little bit helps. So what should you actually do with all this information? First, start checking your account every day. Make it part of your routine. Look at your pending transactions. Look at your posted transactions. If something doesn't look right, report it immediately. Don't wait. Second, make sure you're set up for direct deposit if you receive any government payments. If you're still on paper checks, that option is going away. Get ahead of it now so you're not scrambling later. Third, review your overdraft settings. If you're getting hit with fees regularly, opt out of overdraft protection. Let your transactions get declined instead of approved with a fee attached. Fourth, take advantage of the new open banking rules. Shop around for better rates or better service. If your current bank isn't meeting your needs, it's easier than ever to switch. Fifth, protect your account information. Use strong passwords. Enable two-factor authentication. Never share verification codes. Be skeptical of anyone asking for your personal details, even if they sound official. Sixth, if you spot a scam or an unauthorized charge, act immediately. Call your bank. File a report. The faster you move, the better your chances of stopping the loss. And finally, stay informed. These changes are rolling out throughout the year. Banks are required to explain them to you, so if something confuses you, ask questions. Reach out to customer service. Get clarity. This is your money, and you have every right to understand how it's being handled. The bottom line is this: banking is becoming more digital, more automated, and more closely monitored. Some of that is good. It helps catch fraud. It makes transactions clearer. It gives you more control over your data. But it also means you can't afford to be passive. You have to stay engaged. You have to watch your accounts. You have to act fast when something goes wrong. These rule changes are real. They're happening now. And they're going to affect how you interact with your money for years to come. The people who come out ahead are the ones who see it coming and adjust before everyone else figures it out. You're already ahead just by being here. Now take what you've learned and put it into action. Are you ready to take control of your account before the next wave of changes hits?